Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. Ryan, this is a very special last check-in. Predictions, like always, we'll save them for last. Ryan, it was the Oklahoma Sooners and the Louisville Cardinals in that last matchup, and the Cardinals lost, barely lost, to Reagan Beers and company. Only the third time ever them two teams played, but boy, do the Cardinals have a very tough task following up that loss as they go into the Barclays Center, Ryan, on Saturday night. And this one's on national TV on Fox. Now you know why I can't wait. The Champions Classic. What do you have for me as Paige Beckers and Olivia Cochran square off in Brooklyn, New York?
Yeah, well, of course, UConn coming off their win against Holy Cross now travels to Brooklyn, New York to face 22nd ranked Louisville at the Barclays Center in the Champions Classic. Louisville Cardinals from the ACC, and even though they're ranked 22nd, of course, they probably won't be after this week, with, of course, you mentioning losing to Oklahoma, and they might lose again here Saturday night. They are at the bottom of their standings in their conference with a record of now 5-3. Of course, last night, Wednesday night, losing to 11th ranked Oklahoma. And all three of the Cardinals' losses have now come against ranked opponents. And like I just said, that number could turn very easily to four after this game on Saturday night. Louisville, led by freshman guard Tajana Roberts, who's averaging 12 points per game. 6'3" senior forward Olivia Cochran, averaging about 10 points per game. She has a nice game down low against Oklahoma, so UConn is going to have to guard her pretty closely. She can get pretty hot pretty fast. Nyla Harris, Jada Curry, some notable names to watch out for in this game. Watch some of the highlights against Oklahoma. I noticed Louisville has a good amount of size on their team. Pretty aggressive rebounding team, always fighting for the ball. They're coached very well. Head coach Jeff Walls has been there in Louisville since 2007, so he definitely knows what he's doing, has just a little bit of experience, and will have his team ready and prepared to face UConn. Now, the Huskies, they definitely have to come out a little stronger than what they did Tuesday night against Holy Cross. It turned out to be a blowout win, but that kind of performance isn't going to work against teams like Louisville. We need four consistent quarters. I'm going to keep saying that until we see four consistent quarters out of this UConn team. I'm also going to be watching Ashlyn Shade in this game because she got replaced by AZ in the last game in the starting lineup. Shade did end up scoring 6 points off the bench, but she did struggle for most of the night to get her shot going, kind of to get into the rhythm of the game. So I hope she can adjust to coming off the bench now, and I hope she continues to have consistent performances like she has the whole season. Also, consistent performances. I hope to continue to see those from KK and Jana off the bench, and Morgan Shelley as well. She's been a name, obviously one of the new freshmen on this team. She's been putting up pretty solid numbers, getting some opportunities off the bench, and she's been capitalizing off of those. So Morgan Shelley as well, another name that's been doing pretty good for us as one of the freshmen off of the bench.
All right, Ryan. Well, if I'm looking at this correctly, this is a Louisville program that has yet to win a national title. I see that they have been runner-ups in '09 and 2013. So they're still looking for that very storied program, though, right? Like UConn. But I agree with you. We're going to get down in the comments in just a second. They came through very well on that last episode. I agree 110%. If UConn slows down in that first half, or the second half, I believe it could be a loss on Fox, but we're not going to think like that, right, Ryan? Let's go over to the disruptive one on that last video. He said, not a good first half, but we looked good in spurts. And some of the young pieces look good, obviously, Strong in particular. AZ did move into the starting lineup. Apparently, she was sick tonight, but she still played all right. Good performance from Chen tonight, too. She deserves some credit.
Yeah, I did see that after the game that Gino mentioned AZ was sick and she was even a question mark, didn't really know if she would even play or not in that game. And she ended up, like you just said, having a pretty good game. So hopefully she's healed up from that now and can be fully healthy back in the starting lineup going into this game against Louisville. And yeah, Kaylin Chen kind of struggled maybe to score the first couple of games for UConn. Her passing numbers have been very good all year so far for UConn in the starting lineup every game. And she's been starting to score these past couple of games. So Kaylin Chen definitely starting to heat up for UConn, and I hope that continues as well. She's a pretty big name on this team, kind of the centerpiece at sometimes of what this offense does. So it's very good to see Kaylin Chen starting to roll with this team.
This one's interesting. UConn Nation 12 said it's tough to get up for games when you know you're going to win by 40. So, in other words, Ryan, maybe it's going to be easier for all of us in UConn Nation, and including you and I, right, to wake up. Well, I know it's going to be easy for me to wake up Saturday, considering this team plays on national TV.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mindset and the mentality. I think that kind of creeps into some of the teams' minds. When you play a team like Holy Cross or a lower tier kind of team, it's kind of hard to get into the game sometimes. You kind of go into it expecting to blow out the team, and obviously that's what happened in the first half, and I think that's what happened for UConn, and luckily Gino straightened them out going into the second half, and they played pretty well. So hopefully, maybe in this game it'll be really easy for UConn since it's a higher ranked team. Maybe they'll finally put up four consistent quarters for us and be very, bring the intensity, bring the energy again in this game.
All right, one more. Jason said, I did not get to watch the game yet, so thank you for the post-game analysis. Sounds like it was a rough first half. Maybe it's Paige and AZ that need to learn how to play with Sarah and not the other way around. Peace.
Yeah, I think that could be some of the case. I think those three are obviously the big names, I guess you could say, in the starting five. But Sarah's been so good in every game, really, for UConn so far. I think AC's still trying to get adjusted to the starting lineup. She missed so many games. I mentioned she only had like 40 or maybe even less starts than that for UConn, and she's been here for what 3 or 4 years now. So, I think it's still a little bit of an adjustment for AZ. But I think that'll just get straightened out with time and as they play even more games together.
Actually, Kirk Larson, Ryan, not going to go into the full comment, but he says, Phil and Ryan, you guys are a stitch. Love your podcast. Well, we love you too. Let's go over to predictions, Ryan. Who wins? 9 o'clock at night on Fox. Cannot wait. We all know that you can't wait. Who wins and the score?
Well, UConn, like I said, they need to come out with a lot more energy. They need to be on top of their game defensively. Like I said, Louisville has a lot of size, so they're going to be prepared for this game. This will be a fun one. It's a pretty late night tip off on Fox from the Barclays Center. For my prediction, I'll say UConn 78, Louisville 67.
Ooh, you're going with a close one. I love it.
Little
I love it.
close.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, let's go. I'll love it. I'll love it. Why not? I'll go UConn 80. Let's go UConn 80 and Louisville 70. How about that, Ryan? 80-70 UConn over Louisville. And you're right. There are some big names on the Louisville roster. I mentioned Olivia Cochran. You mentioned Roberts, Marissa Russell. So again, all about matchups, right? Who do you double team? Who do you leave open? It's going to get interesting Saturday night. I can't wait to see you right back here very late on a Saturday night. Get your popcorn ready, Ryan, and tell Connor get his too. Phil and Ryan on Listen Up.